Welcome to the realm of intoxicating flavors and head-banging beer reviews.
Welcome to another episode of the Rare Beer Club. I'm your host, the Ginger Yeti, and if you're new to the channel, the Rare Beer Club is a subscription club put out by the beerofthemonthclub.com. I receive a box every month that contains 2 hand-selected beers. It costs about $60 a month. I unbox the beers and select one to kind of review blindly, and then I review the second one in another video. So if you saw my unboxing last Wednesday, I received an IPA, which might have been the first IPA I can remember ever receiving in a Rare Beer Club box. And the other thing I received is this right here. I had no idea what it was, so I wanted to save this to figure out what it is. And on the bottle here, first of all, I should tell you, this is the Pyres Brewing Company out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's the Idyll Forest Onirique 2025. It's a French word. I can't pronounce it. Onirique, I don't know. And the bottle says it's a rosé wine hybrid wild ale. I have never had anything like that. I have no clue. That's so totally new to me. On the back it says, hopefully I can read it because some of the words have been rubbed off. A wonderfully aromatic blend of mixed cultures and enhanced Grenache grapes, aged in oak barrels over many sunsets, crafting a magical experience with each sip. Savor this elegant mix of strawberry. The words have been completely rubbed off the label at this point. Something else, and cherry flavoring or flavors. And I can't read the rest. See the forest for the flora. Pyres. It's a shame that the label's been kind of rubbed off so you can't see it. It's just this big clear bottle. It looks kind of crazy. It looks like almost looks like homemade brandy. And of course, the Rare Beer Club comes with this, as I destroy everything over here, knock down my Nice with Nutmeg and my Dave TV thing. Always comes with this paperwork. So, Pyres Brewing, and they give you a pronunciation of it. It's spelled P-R-Y-E-S, but pronounced like Pyres. Pyres Brewing Company is the brainchild of founder Jeremy Pyres, whose colorful background includes such diverse roles as line cook, bouncer, graphic designer, IT and systems admin work, and ultimately brewing. He holds a degree in intensive brewing science and engineering from the American Brewers Guild, in addition to being a BJCP beer judge and a board member for the Community Hop Garden, which is an urban agricultural co-op in the South Minneapolis neighborhood of Longfellow, which gives local brewers access to freshly grown hops produced in their own city. In 2014, Pyres' very first beer, Miraculum, was released. A Midwest IPA that sought to break free of West Coast and East Coast styles. In their words, the perfect balance of West Coast hops and East Coast malts. Never heard of it, never had it. Initially, Pyres brewed in Minnetonka in a dual proprietorship arrangement with Lucid Brewing, where they shared the facility with Badger Hill, Inbound, and Bad Weather, producing around 800 barrels per year. Miraculum was the sole product Pyres brewed as they worked on plans for their own brewery, which finally opened in 2017 as one part production packaging brewery and one part stunning tap room destination on the Mississippi River. Man, I would go there. The new location is situated near downtown Minneapolis. I'm in Minneapolis quite regularly. I definitely have to go check this place out. On the western side of the Mississippi, just a couple hundred feet from the water. And the tap room offers tons of beer options as well as food menu focused on their signature wood-fired pizzas. I wish I would have known about this sooner. I've had days off in Minneapolis. I would have totally gone here. The brewhouse gives them the potential for 20,000 barrels of annual production, and since launch, the brewery has expanded well beyond their flagship Miraculum to offer a large array of packaged beers and even larger numbers of small batch creations. However, However, of most interest to us this month is Pyres spin-off brand, Idyll Forest Artisan Ales. Around 2020, Jeremy started working on this passion project dedicated to producing spontaneously fermented and mixed culture beers, along with beer, wine, and beer cider hybrids. Again, beer, wine, and beer cider hybrids are kind of new to me. I don't know that I've ever even heard of those things until just now, or until I did the unboxing. He traveled extensively in Belgium, meeting brewers, establishing friendships, and learning everything he could from like-minded brewers. Wisely set up in a separate facility about 20 minutes from Pyres' main production facility to protect the clean brewery from all the wild yeast and botanical cultures. Smart. Idyll Forest has been described as a mad scientist lab, where Jeremy maintains what he calls a flavor library composed of dozens of different cultures in various vessels, each with its own unique character and flavor profile. There's also a cool ship where beers, turn the page, are inoculated by the outside air in the traditional lambic way. An array of large photos and barrels from Bordeaux fill out the space. Idyll Forest is guided by Jeremy's own curiosity as he chases the answers to a continuous stream of what if questions in his mind about hybrid ales with various fruits, new yeast, and bacteria cultures, and endless blending possibilities. One thing that's clear when you hear him speak is he has no love for falling into a rut. The whole Idyll Forest project is dedicated to discovering uncharted flavor experiences. So definitely be an uncharted flavor experience for me, that's for sure. It's certainly a labor of love, as he puts it. This is not putting it in a barrel and sitting it in the back corner. You can't do this properly if you do that. You have to give it attention. Each day after working at Pyres' main brewery, he drives over to Idyll Forest to work further on the brand's unique projects. The nature of spontaneous fermentation, mixed cultures, and freshly harvested fruits means there is no autopilot here. He will guide, coax, and push toward a vision, but every vintage will end up unique. His hard work is paid off and is getting noticed. The annual Festival of Wood and Barrel-Aged Beers, which is FOBAB, I've never heard of that, in Chicago is North America's most prominent barrel-aged beer competition, attracting such heavyweight breweries and with advanced barrel programs as the Lost Abbey, who won first place for the blended beer in 2024, Perennial, Boulevard, Three Floyds, love Three Floyds, Firestone Walker, Goose Island, Half Acre, Sun King, Wicked Weed, and about 170 others. When Idyll Forest won both second and third place in the wild beer, acidic with fruit category in 2023, many people said, who? When Idyll Forest took first place in 2024, the brewery showed it wasn't a fluke. So let's get on to the beer now, if you're still here. So again, this is a brand new style to me, something I've never heard of before. It's a wine hybrid wild ale with Grenache grapes. It's 11% alcohol. You're supposed to use like a TQ tulip flute or wine glass. This is the closest thing I have to any of that. I just don't even know what to think of this. Like, my mind says wine, here's wine, I'm not gonna like it. I'm not a big fan of wine at all. But wild fermented, a beer hybrid, I mean, maybe this is really good, but I don't know. Right now my brain is telling me I'm gonna hate it because I do not like wine. So let's talk about the beer description they say here. Onirique, you know, I listened to how to pronounce this word like a dozen times. I get to do the video, I can't remember how they pronounced it. It's a French word, and I'm just a dummy. Ginger Yeti the idiot. So, Onirique, however you say it, which translates as dreamlike, undergoes a triple fermentation during its 2.5-year production process. That's a long time for a beer. First, the beer spends time in Idyll Forest's cool ship, undergoing natural inoculation from the ambient Minnesota air, after which it rests in their foeders to develop flavor and character. Next, a second fermentation is conducted, during which they blend a combination of foeders and wine barrels with Grenache grape must. Grape must, isn't that like mold? Finally, it all culminates with re-fermentation in the bottle to develop the ale's carbonation and final character. Great, so this is going to explode when I pop it open. The label invokes the term rosé, and it's appropriate. This unusual wine ale hybrid presents a pinkish reddish amber hue in the glass. I mean, I guess that's a pinkish reddish amber hue in the bottle. With minimal foam. Being bottle conditioned, there's a mild haziness, and we can see light sediment through the clear bottle. When I first pulled this out, there was like a big layer of sediment down the side of the bottle that, from my handling, has since, I guess, been mixed again. Oh, I can see a lot of it floating around the bottom. But there was definitely visible sediment in the bottle. Even before leaning in, we detect tart fruit aromas. All right, so that's where I got to stop here so we can pour it out. I'm on Untappd. Let's get to 3.85. There's only 80 check-ins. Nothing on Beer Advocate. I'm going to try to put this out of harm's way. Pull up my trusty rare or micro brewed beer of the month club bottle opener that they gave me one time. I'm going to open this bottle. It's just a black Crown. Hopefully this doesn't explode everywhere. Let's see if the Ginger Yeti makes a giant mess. It's a nice hiss. Little wisp of gun smoke popping out when I pop that Crown. See a lot of the carbonation rising out of the bottle, but it's not like really climbing out anywhere. So we'll pour it into this, the best thing I have, the closest thing I have to a flute, wine flute. Get it poured in there. Man, I'm even hard pouring that, and that's not producing much head. Yeah, I'm really giving that a hard pour, and it's not producing much head. Oh, that smells sour. That's like giving me mouth-watering sour already. Wow, that head just like built up real quick and then just dissipated like soda instantly. That was crazy. So let's see. Even before leaning in, we detect tart fruit aroma. Oh, that's super mouth-watering. That sour smell, that's super mouth-watering to me. That's a big, bold, sour smell. That's reminiscent of the Eau de Criqueville, beers like that. Man, if that's what this is, I will love this beer. Or wine, hybrid beer, whatever it's called. Even before leaning in, we detect tart fruit aromas jumping out of the glass. The label mentions strawberry, raspberry, and cherry. So those were the words I couldn't read on the label. Raspberry was the word I couldn't read. And that is indeed apt description. There is no foam in this, and still hashtag dip your beak in it. Good job, Ginger Pinocchio. I don't know about cherry or strawberry or raspberry, but that's like that sour that I really love. That's like really good, proper sour, true sour smell. Like the Belgian sours, things again like the Eau de Gouzes. That's what this smells like. There are prominent berry notes here that come through juicy and quite tart. I don't pick up berry notes, just that crazy, crazy Belgian sour, the Eau de Gouze kind of sour, the Flanders. The open and mixed culture fermentations let a noticeable undercurrent of wild yeast funkiness. Yeah, there's a little bit of funkiness amidst the tart lactic impressions. As with many Belgian-style sour ales, the first sip is a wild ride. Sour, funky, and juicy. Let's find out. Cheers, everybody. After smelling this, I'm excited to try it now. I was worried about the wine character. I'm excited to try it after the nose. Cheers. Oh, wow. Oh, man, that is sour. That is sour and funky. If this was a beer a day with TK's channel, this would get a Bismarcky funky. Wow. Oh, wow. That is so much funk and sour and tartness. That is incredible. I don't even know where it was. Sour, funky, and juicy. I don't know about juicy, but sour and funky, 100%. Waking the palate like an alarm clock playing Mozart at full blast. Absolutely. That is like the most annoying alarm clock in the world waking you up. That is just like punch you in the mouth. Funky and sour. It's beautiful, but boy, have we woken up. As usual, however, after a couple sips, the palate adapts to the acidity. and we settle in for an elegant experience as layers and layers of flavor emerge. Whew. Wow. This is not for the faint of heart. Horse blanket, funky, sour. Wow. There's a delicious wild ale at the center of Onirique. God, I cannot pronounce that word, even though I heard it a dozen times. Offering the characteristic Brettanomyces funk, absolutely, with shades of tropical and orchard fruits. Maybe, but I can't get over that funk and that sourness. There is some oaky tannins going on in there. I am picking up some oak. Surrounding this core component, we get a lactic overlay that's quite tart, evoking Flanders red impressions, absolutely. Enrobing, what a weird word, enrobing. Enrobing the whole affair are the overly fruity high notes, conjuring notes of sour cherry, gooseberry. I need to find gooseberries and try one. And many other fruits ending in berry. It's all very evocative of both fruited, mostly Crick, Lambic, and Rodenbach. I don't know. I think it's old goose for sure. And like the Flanders, like, man. In fact, Onirique, God, I wish I could remember how to pronounce that, even though I listened to it a dozen times. Comes across as so thoughtfully constructed and well integrated that it's almost impossible to tell where the yeast-driven fruity esters end and the contributions of the Grenache grape must begin. I don't know. This is just funky. Oh, there's. I must be getting used to that funky, sour. Starting to pick up more of the acidity. Still getting some oaky notes. I'm actually picking up some of the fruits now. Definitely some cherry, some fruitiness in there. Idyll Forest clearly allowed the beer to develop its own character with plenty of photo time prior to the introduction of the must and secondary fermentation. Delicious, moderate sweetness, yeah, lurks at the backbone of this brew too. Holding it all together while creating an energetic interplay with sour elements, culminating in the type of almost savory character that defines our favorite wild and sour beers. The elevated alcohol and mild 12 IBUs of hop bitterness, I don't even see that anywhere, are barely perceptible as independent elements. Instead, they integrate to the rest of the tart and funky notes to balance the core. Two-row and wheat malt contributions, which offer just a touch of toastiness, augmented by notes of oak barrel. Definitely get the oak barrel. Don't expect much foam from this brew. There's a very soft carbonation, it adds a touch of lift, but it is wisely subdued to allow the other bright elements here to sing. The brewery gave us a best consumed by date of 2030, and this is only 2026. Given the nature of this brew, 2 to 5 year aged, acidic, high ABV, we're confident this beer will last at least that long. So, wow. This is not what I expected at all. I might have skipped over like the color. I know I talked about in the bottle, but that's just like, I don't know. Dirty water, like unfiltered, untreated dirty water. Looks like there's a lot of micro fine sediment floating around in there. That head was crazy because it just, see if I can recreate that head. It like builds up real quick, starting to build up, and then it just fizzles away super quick like a soda. Man, when I saw wine hybrid wild ale, I thought it was gonna be disgusting. I thought I was gonna hate this because I'm not a big fan of wine, especially red wine. I don't have too much experience with Grenache, but still, like this. Man, this is funky, and it's sour, and it's oaky. I'm now starting to pick up some of that strawberry, cherry, fruity. What is the percentage on this? 11% alcohol. No effing way. There is zero alcohol in this. This is absolutely phenomenal. I am blown away by this. This is incredible. This may be, like, first of all, I should give it my rating. This is definitely 2 giant horns up from the Ginger Yeti. Pyres Brewing Company out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. I gotta find your brewery. I gotta come visit your brewery. Idyll Forest Onirique, however you say that. 2025, phenomenal, mind-blowing. I don't normally rate beers on my channel. I very rarely ever give like a real rating on my channel. But this right here, this may end up being, probably will be a 5 out of 5 on Untapped when I check it in. This is phenomenal. This is brilliant. This is such a, just, if you like the Flanders, really just punch you in the mouth, palate wrecking, sour beers with that funky horse blanket, oaky craziness, find this, buy this. I don't know what else Idyll Forest does from Pyres Brewing Company. I would love to find more of them. This is phenomenal. This is absolutely incredible. I went into this thinking I was going to hate this beer. I really did not want to like this because of the word wine. This is incredible. This is just amazing. It's a mind-blowing beer. The flavors are so intricate. That horse blanket, the funk, the sour. I would put this up against any Eau de Goose, any of the beers from Eau de Criqueville, any of those Belgian, like Flanders sours, those kind of beers. I would put this up against it, hands down. This is phenomenal. Find this beer if you can. If you like this style, buy this beer if you can. If you like this style, check out Pyres Brewing Company. Never heard of them before, but now I'm keen to them. Hopefully next time I'm in Minneapolis, I can find their beers and visit the brewery. If you made it this far in the video, thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. I know it was really long-winded, talked a lot about this. It's worth it for this beer. Thank you all for watching, and as always, embrace the adventure.